pick up flour. Often I'd go knocking on the door and say, would you like to buy a flour for a nickel? My mother's sick and I'm trying to earn my allowance money. Worked every time. Until about 2 weeks later, Mrs. Brandon, who lived across the street from us, called my mother and said, gee, I'm so sorry that you're home ill and your son is out earning money to get his allowance. When my father came home, little Ricky's flour business came to a screeching halt. Now, my father was a great salesman, and he was teaching me a lesson that took me, of course, many years later to understand that you don't have to misrepresent, be deceitful to sell people good things. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. Now, I want you to pair up in two people, pairs two, right? And I want you to, either left or right, pick a partner, pick the more sophisticated person next to you, however you want to do it. And if you two would share together here, just pair up. Now, you're going to have to turn around and face this gentleman. I know you didn't want to pick him, but that's okay. Now, two of you together, okay? I want you to look at each other because you're going to do a little something together. First of all, decide which one of you is going to raise your right hand. And then raise your right hand. Come on. I need to have a pair. Everybody got a right hand? Trust me, you're going to like this. It demonstrates, what are you, bashful here? Are you the odd couple? What? I mean, if there are three of you, one of you watch the other two, all right? You that have your hand in the air, make a fist. Now I want you to take that fist and put it right in front of the other person that you partnered up with. Right in front of them. Right? Get it right in front of them now. Okay, on the count of three, you're going to rear back and, oh no, wait a minute, that's the wrong exercise here. Hold that fist right there in front of them. Now the other person that's looking at that fist, raise your left hand. Don't make a fist, just put it behind your back. I got to play along to get this point here, okay? You got it behind your back. Now, listen to the instructions. I don't want any more broken bones or bloodshed. I want you to just look at that fist. Look at that fist. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to get that person, no broken bones or bloodshed, to open the fist. Do what you think you can to get that fist opened, okay? Go. Okay. That's enough. Nobody's gotten hurt, have they? Okay, good. I mean, this is the stupidest thing you've ever done, Rick. You know, doing this. I was just crazy. I got back to the office and I went into the back door, true story, and slid in, that's the way I felt, into my office and sat down. I knew my boss was going to come. Sure enough. Name's Charles Ray. He walked in and said, "Hi, Rick. How was the meeting with Hal?" Fine. I knew he was going to say. He said, "Yeah, he called me." Here it comes. I'm going to get fired. He said you had a rather interesting meeting and that he looked forward to seeing you next week. I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah." And he was smiling because I knew he knew that there's more to this discussion than that. He said, "Yes, he thought you left in a little hurry there and didn't quite finish things, and he wanted you to make you know that he'd look forward to having you come back next week." Well, you could have blown me on the floor with a puff of breath. This moment and this moment forward, I'm going to introduce you to your permanent coach. Your coach that you cannot fire. You can't ignore the coach. And you're going to be taught some things that your coach is going to remind you of. Your thumb. Your thumb is a sign of what? Success, isn't it? Way to go. Yes. So when you look at your thumb and you do something, if nobody compliments you, you're a boss or otherwise, yes to yourself. Okay? Now this finger, I want you to look at it as when you're not really sure where you're going. Is my career moving in the right direction? Am I being successful or not? What do I need to do? This says, yes, I know what I need to do. I am working toward a goal. Maybe it's this month's goal, this year's goal, retirement goal. It can be anything. Look at that finger and say, I have a purpose and an action plan. Now this finger. Yes, some of you are already ahead of me, and I'm not going to ask you to learn something new. This is a very, very important part that your coach will tell you. When you call on a prospect and they just don't seem to get the message, I want you to do this to them. Of course, not in front of them. You might get the fist game going again, and we'd really be in trouble, so maybe outside in the car you can do this. But I want you to do that. It's called release, vent. And when your boss, whoever that might be, doesn't fully appreciate what you're doing and seems to always want more, this is what we tell them. And I want you to do this. Everybody do this. Come on, everybody do this. Yes. Don't you feel better already? I mean, it's just one of those things. We kind of keep it inside, and we need to let this go. Now, the fourth finger is to always say to yourself, it isn't a sign of weakness to ask for help. Everybody needs somebody to help them. Your wife, your associate at work, a customer, compliment, whatever. But reach out and say, I can ask for help, and I'm not a sign of weakness when I do this. And the last one is the little finger. And it is true, the old story, that the little things is what we all remember. Walking up to that employee and saying, thanks for being an employee at this bank. Have a nice day.